Hi everyone, welcome to Rage Print. I'm Andy and this is episode 24 of my chopper build. Yeah, I'm still going. And in this episode I'm going to be working on the hoses for the battery boxes that are on the back of chopper's feet. I finally found some hoses, or I finally found some hoses that will work for it, and I can thank Kev, who's one of my subscribers, for that. I've been chatting to him on Facebook and he gave me the link and I sent them over. I'll pop the link in the description so you can get them yourself. And yeah, I'm going to start building it. I've got all the pieces I need, so just need to get on with it now. So why don't you join me and see how we get on. Okay, so let's go over what we've got so far. I've got these pieces here that were designed by Jean DeWitt, and they go in the foot shell, so the U-channel of the foot shell sits like that, and they go at the back. I've painted these already, painted at the same time as doing all the other bits of chopper. They've now been lacquered with a gloss normal car lacquer, and then I found a satin lacquer, the same brand, and just slightly sprayed it over just to take away some of that gloss. So those are done. Then on the battery boxes themselves, on each battery box I will have two of these, and so if that's the flat plane of the battery box, there'll be sort of I'll tell you what, if this is the flat plane of the battery box at the back of the foot, and then I would have two of those like that, and inside each one would be a little magnet. I think it's a 10x5 because these are just the normal R2 foot shell ones, the Mark II. So they'll get glued on against the battery, flattered battery box like that with the magnets in. And then these are also the knurled foot hose shells, knurled foot hose clips, and again they would have a magnet in the bottom there, and they literally just click on like that, and that's pretty much it. So these need painting silver. These need painting this colour, which is that Hyundai steel grey. All it matters because they'll be covered up anyway, but you know, just in case they get knocked off. So as I said, they get glued on. They need painted in silver. And then we just talk about the battery hose. Now, unlike R2, they're not the sort of fabric style metal ones, you know, the ones that look like a Chinese finger trap puzzle. It's not like that. Live action chopper appears to be a smooth hose. Now, I was chatting to Jason Harris of Norwich Droids, and he suggested he was going to use an armoured cable, which I was all up for trying. And then I was chatting to Kev, which I mentioned in the beginning, and he's come up with this. So I've ordered some. And I mean, it pretty much looks, I'll put the photo up, but it pretty much looks like the foot hose stuff. It's very close, and it's pretty much just well, it's a rubber shower hose with 360 rotatable nuts. As I said, I'll put the link on there, to the Amazon link on there, and yeah, see what you think. So essentially, all I've got to do is chop. I've got to remove these caps. I've got to remove these caps, and then this will get chopped up, and then the knurled foot hose will get attached onto that side, and on the other side, will just get pushed into there, like that, into one of these two holes like that. So that theoretically is 1.5 meters. So that should be more than enough to do 4 foot hoses. Yeah, so this just needs chopping. So when I was chatting to Kev about it, he said he used hot water to sort of form it into shape, and I can see why. It's, you know, it's shiny outside, but it feels a bit like a hose pipe in the middle, underneath. To be honest, that's kind of the impression I get. It feels like a bit like a hose pipe. And in fact, actually, there's a slight texture just underneath the shine on the silver that makes it reminds me of a hose pipe. So yeah, as I said, they're painted, so they're ready. These need painting. They can just be painted silver. They don't need much work doing to them because the knurling covers up a lot of the print lines, so they can just be sprayed. I don't know whether to try and match that silver or match that colour. I don't suppose it really matters, especially as these aren't like the ones on Chopper. These are just these are essentially just the R2 ones, as I said, just been repurposed. So they fit these and they fit these, so why not? So that's what I'm going to be doing. First step is to just get these ends off. It appears to be an easy way to take them off, which I suppose makes sense because it's supposed to be pressure, it's supposed to be waterproof, so you don't want it to easily come off. Also, no easy way to get that off. Oh, there we go, screws. Let's have a look. So we unscrews that, and then we've got the rubber washer. So there's a rubber washer there, and then okay, I see. And then we can just take that off. I'm thinking greeblies here. Right, yeah, I'm going to have to chop it. I'm going to have to chop it this end here, unless I can pry that off. No, I'm going to do more damage, so it'd be easy just to chop it off there. And then, so I think these bits could be useful somewhere else down the line. Yeah. So that's the plan. I should really be using a cutting mat for this, but see how easy it is to cut. Jeez. There we go, pierced it. So if you want to sort of shower hose, it's going to work extremely well. There we go. This company's now going to wonder why they're running out of shower hoses. Let's get this bit off as well. Stuff's tough, you're not going to have to worry about breaking, are you? As Kev pointed out, the beauty of this stuff is you don't actually need to do any work to it afterwards. It's already silver. Just weather it before you can cut through it. That'd be why. Just caught the edge of the copper bit there. Very hard to bend as well. I suppose it's the point. Here we go. Last bit. Jeez. Cutting mat. Definitely have a cutting mat. There we go. So that's both sides done. So. Ooh. Ooh. Thinking I don't know, what do you reckon? Keeping that bit on? We're just going straight for this bit. Okay, I can see why you need the hot water, you need the rubber to be a bit more pliable. That inner tube cylinder is a bit too wide, it's wider than this. But once that's in, that's not going anywhere. Oh, hang on. Right, so that goes down fine like that. No, but no, I need that for this bit. So how about here? Yeah, again, it needs a bit of coaxing, but that will go in. Okay, so So it needs to go over that. It definitely needs to go over that. Let me just check my photos. Okay, so looking at the photos, and I'll bring a proper photo up in a minute anyway. It is the hose goes over this bit as I thought it should. It just needs a bit of coaxing, and then on this side it just plugs in again with a bit of coaxing. That side's pretty much a permanent attachment. This is the side you disconnect when you want to remove the battery box. So this will disconnect from the battery box itself. So this will always stay connected to the feet. And judging by the size, I would say that my 25 centimeters was about right. It's about 25 centimeters, so it's not much. Literally about that. Between about that much. So yeah, as I said, I'll do a test cut at 25 centimeters as well, so there's plenty of material left over. Yeah, there's plenty of material left over to be able to get away with more if I make a mistake. I can always order another one if needs be, rather than not, because this was £10. I don't really want to spend another £10 just to cut off 25 centimeters of material. Anyway, so that'll be the next step. Just test piece and then heat it up and try and get it into here. I also need to make sure these are painted first, because that'll affect the fit. Because obviously that'll get painted, not intentionally, but it'll get oversprayed, which will affect the fit. So that needs to be fit to a painted one, not an unpainted. Right, so they're all painted. That's the aluminium with a black overcoat that I've been doing on most of the chopper, and that's the Hyundai steel grey. Actually, it's probably a bit of a bad cover. There you go. Well, there's probably not much difference between them, really. Yeah, there is. Anyway, so as you can see, they're painted, and as you can also see, I've put the magnets in. So they're just super glued in for now, and I've got the magnets in there as well. And I can confirm they work because I tested it, and then I couldn't get this bit out of here. So I can confirm it works. Oh, like that. That's exactly what I didn't want to do. So next step after I get this bit out is to stay. Let's put these over here so they're well away. Right. Next step is to glue these onto the battery boxes. I know roughly where they need to go, and it's probably about that much distance. If it'll let me, it'll be about that much distance between them. I keep wanting to push each other away, so I'm thinking about that much distance, allowing. Well, actually, we use the battery hoses for comparison. Probably about that much distance between them on the back of the battery box. I still need to cut this. I'm thinking I might cut it to 30 centimeters and then chop down as needed, rather than cutting it at 25 and going, oh, I need a bit more. 30 gives me enough, and with a bit left over, so I'll do that. And then I just need to heat this up and glue it into there, and heat that up so it will pop into there, or push into there, I should say. And then that needs gluing down to the foot shells. As I said, those need gluing down onto the battery boxes. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. Right, so you can see here I've got the battery boxes out. And I'm just trying to get a rough idea of where these need to go. Although, if you watch this one here, yeah, it's pushing it away slightly. So I need to. Strangely, it's not doing it on this one. So I need to find the sweet spot where they're not going to push each other away, but be roughly where I think they are on the photo. Just wonder if I've got any better photos. Yeah, I've got that one. Unfortunately, I've had to zoom in, so it's best guess really. I mean, they're quite close together on chopper, so I'm thinking they push each other away, so I think it's going to have to be about there. Now they look about even. I need to just try and centre it a bit more though. So what are we looking at? 6. So the middle is going to be 3. So about there-ish. Just over 6. And then push them together a bit more. Okay, happy with that. Yeah, I admit I'm just doing this by eye. That seems to be the better way of doing it. Mainly because chopper is not symmetrical. As long as it looks roughly right. There, pretty happy with that. Didn't really think this through, did I? Forevermore there's going to be a pencil mark on chopper. Just about see, no, so just nudge that. Yeah, this isn't going to work, is it? Should have done this before putting the magnets in, really. Okay. Woo. Okay. I'm expecting that. Right, it's going to have to be one magnet at a time. Just about to see the pencil mark. So say you go there. Sense this a bit easier now this way. You go there. Should I do the top one first? No, it's this one. You go there. Now, I was going to use that, the resin, but honestly I think I'm going to make more mess than I'd actually gain by doing that. I think the super glue would break too easily. So I might try the Gorilla Glue, see if it's any better. So I'll get on with that and I'll come back when I'm done. Right, I've done 4, I'm going to do the last, sorry, I've done 3, I'm going to do the last one. And you won't see it on here, but I've done a pencil mark around there. And I'm going to slightly abrade it with some sandpaper, which means I won't actually see the mark again, but it gives me a rough idea where I need to go. separates it enough for me to put the super glue on. And get a more or less permanent stick. So here we go. Right, let's just hold this for a couple of seconds. And that should they look fairly even, don't they? The thing is, they're a whole droid apart, so you're not really going to be able to tell if they're vastly different. Now, do I trust the glue enough to be able to just do this now? Okay, so they look alright. Now can I get these off? Yeah. There's a bit of super glue still around that, so that's quite a good grab. Yeah, that's quite a good grab. I'll leave those ones a couple of minutes longer before trying that, but they should be okay. And then, yeah, so that's that done. That's the hard bit, I think. The other bit is I've got to glue these into the feet, into the foot shells, but I don't want to do that until that's been cut. So I think that's the next step, is cut this. Right. So I have another look at the pictures, and I think the cables are a lot longer than 25 centimetres. I think they're a lot longer than 30 centimetres as well. So I'm going to cut these. I've already cut this into half. I'm going to cut it into half again, and then work on that. Right, cut it into quarters. Basically, each bit's 36 centimetres long, which is okay. Probably could have got away 30. So that's all I'm going to get. So now I need to get this bit into here. Which one of those I need to bend it slightly. So next step is to basically get these four sides into these four holes here, and thing to be aware of is also they've got a natural bend to them, so I need to make sure that essentially I do that. So I have a left half and the right half for each foot shell. So I'm going to get some hot water and just try and push those thin. Right, as you can see here, I've got them on, and it was literally just a bit of hot water for about 30-40 seconds. And just very gently push them in. You see a bit of bubbling there, and it's like the silver sleeve, it doesn't quite fit, so the option could be maybe file these holes out a bit, or make them slightly bigger on the print anyway. But this is a nice tight fit, so they're not coming out easily. And you can see here, I slice them off. I've taken off 8.5 centimetres, apart from one where I took off 7, but never mind. I've taken off 8.5 centimetres because when I put this in the foot shell, and I think I'm mounting it sideways, kind of ends up looking a bit like this, and that's kind of what I want. But when it had the full length on, it was like out here somewhere, and it just looked too big. I mean, even this might still be too big. So yeah, 36 is well off. 20. So yeah, 28 centimetres is all you need, really. So maybe the 25 would have been fine, just really. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place this on the foot shell, see what I think. Unfortunately, I can't film at the same time because I need more hands than I've got, and I can't actually. I could bring the foot over here. 2 secs. So it turns out I can bring the foot over here. So this is where we're looking here. So the original idea with Gene's thing here is it mounts like that, which is fine. But I'm actually thinking of mounting it, if it'll let me. Mounting it sideways. What's going on here? Like that. So mounting it sideways and putting the flat edge here against the flat edge here, because bear in mind that's curved. Put the flat edge like that, so it then matches how it looks on live action anyway. And then these sort of plug on like so. There's no easy way to show you how. I mean, that's essentially how it look. You see what I mean? That might even still be a bit too big. I mean, could possibly even maybe go that much further in, that much further in. So I think I am going to mount this like this, sideways. First, I'm going to put the hose locks on here. So again, go back to the hot water and just gently push that on. Oh, bearing in mind, hang on, that's now pushed that out. So if I put that on, and then put this on, and put you there, and you there. Actually, let me just quick check the photo. So if we look at the photo there, and I zoom in on the I don't know, what do you think? Does that kind of look like that? Or is that still too big, or should it actually be more like that? I think it needs to be more like that. I need to take off, well, bearing in mind that it's pushed in about that much, I need to take off about that much more. Or do I just leave it like that and just slightly wider? Or do I mount that further back in? Yeah, I mount that further back in. Yeah, I don't have to cut anything then. Okay, I'll mount that further back here, sort of about. You can see the line here where the foot shell joins the drive track back there. I reckon if I could stick it about there. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to do any cutting on this. I think just where I mount it will help. So the next step is to get these on. So again, back to the hot water and push those on and see how we look. Alright, there we are. Literally, bit of hot water, 30-40 seconds, push them on. Brilliant. So make sure I get these the right way around. Yeah, that's the way I want it. So looking at the photos, there's no consistency between whether the left one or the right one is at the top. It's either way round on Chopper. So let's put you on. Let's put you on. And it naturally wants to sit up, so that might be what I'm doing. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, okay, so they're going to be sitting up, and I'll glue those bits back on again. Excuse me. Right, after breaking the other set off, I'm going to do some very drastically measuring again and rough guesstimating. I'm going to take another 4 centimetres off there, taking it back to the original 25 I thought it should have been. On this thing, didn't know until I tried it. So I'm going to take another 4 centimetres off, roughly, and then see how this goes. I might be ordering another hose at this rate, but yeah. Right, okay, chopping that off has made that a lot easier to put in. Probably could take a tiny bit more off as well. However, I just spin it around slightly. It does mean my plan for putting it sideways won't work. It has to sit vertically. And even then, there's still probably a bit too much side pressure on there. I might need to take a bit more off this bottom one, just to be able to twist it around enough. In fact, I will do that. Take a tiny bit more off this bottom one, just so it's not sat at a kink. And then that'll sit flush, and I'm going to push it back as far as I can. Yeah, the bottom one definitely needs more taken off, so I'll do that now. There we go. Oh, it's starting to pull off. Ah! Okay, we haven't done it. Right, so I think the problem is I'm trying to do this while this is still not set. I didn't glue back on. So I am going to wait. I was hoping to have this done today, but I'm guessing not. The thing is, it's not that far off. It really isn't that far off. And that bottom one seems okay. Yeah, the bottom one seems okay. Is it now the top one? Is it now the top one? Right, so I've been slicing, as you can see here, and I've now ended up with the bottom tube being just about 20.5 centimetres, and the top tube being about 20 centimetres. So as you can see, there's not much difference between them, but the bottom one is slightly shorter. In fact, you can see it better on this one. In fact, I think I may need to chop that one a bit shorter again. So top one, top one is 19.5. The bottom one is 20.5. So I need to chop the top one of this down again by 1 centimetre, or just under a centimetre. They've got to count for the squeezing hole, so I'll just do that quickly. And done. Now both roughly the same length. So I think the moral of the story here is I should have gone with my instincts and stuck with the stuck with the 25 centimetres. I would have had a lot less wastage, and I would have had to spare one. Well, I would have had to spare two to be able to do it again if it's gone wrong. So if you do this, cut each length to 25 centimetres to start with, and then trim back from there. Don't start on the whole 36 centimetres. Start at the 25. You know, I mean, that could have been another hose. That could have been another 2 hoses there. So as I said, I've got to let the super glue dry properly for the bits that I just stuck back on. And then I'll try again to make sure the fit works. It's still quite tight. Ironically, the longer the curve, the longer the hose, the more curve I could have done, but it just looks silly being so far out. So I think I'm going to try and encourage it to stay in place by just basically squeezing it together for a little while. Or putting it back in the hot water and just holding it in place, you know, just basically holding it like that. Essentially that's all it needs to be, just like that. Yeah, so I might just do that, and then let's say I've got to let it super dry and then let it dry overnight, and then we'll see where we are. Yeah, not much else I can do right now. So when I cut back, it'll probably be the next day for me. I'll see you in a second. Oh, I know I said I was going to wait until tomorrow to do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this bit down now with 2-part epoxy, but disconnect these so they're not putting the pressure on, and allow that to set overnight, and then in the morning hopefully I should be able to reconnect these and that take the pressure and that take the pressure. So I've already marked out where I need it to go with a pencil, so I'm just going to, I found the way to disconnect these. Start with the bottom one and then disconnect the top one. This needs to you can try and disconnect the top one first. Needs to be more pressure on it. I've also gone back around these with not only super glue but also EMA around there as well, so it's now super glued and EMA'd. Also had to fix the paint on it as well. But I don't know where that water came from there, but it's where I was trying to bend it with water. Basically I was trying to bend it with hot water and then immediately cool it with cold water so it maintained more of a bend. It's kind of worked. But yeah, so that'd be the plan now. Is to basically just see the pencil mark would be to just glue that in place there. Yeah, just like that. Just glue it in place, do the same on the other leg, and then just leave it like that until it's dry. Unfortunately, there's not much space for it to glue onto, so I'm wondering maybe if I sand it slightly, get more of a curve. I'm not sure what Jean was intending when she designed this, whether it's to actually mount like that, or it does mount like that, but that's curved, it's not flat, whereas that's flat. So, I'm not sure. Either way, I'll glue that in place and the glue will do the rest. Right, hopefully that hold it. I had to remix the resin, put a dab of super glue down each side just to hold it, just so that holds it in place quicker to allow the epoxy to dry, and I just need to tidy this bit up. However, because that's not flat, it's now tipping the leg against things I don't want it to tip against. That allows me to get a clean cloth to clean this bit of resin up here. Right, I'm going to very carefully move this and then get the other leg. Right, let's try and do the other leg now. Try. Gloves. Being very careful not to let the super glue touch the resin, at least not until my face is well away from it. Alright, I'll pause this here and then when I come back I'll probably remove this and we'll see how we're getting on. Right, now I am just going to leave it to dry. I decided now it's sort of semi-solid, put those on so that it dries with the pressure of that being on. Hopefully those bits don't snap off overnight. And then likewise the same here, and see what I mean about the mess underneath. I think that might just be that was not too bad in comparison. It might just be a weathering job. There was also a horrible sounding cracking noise when I closed the clamp up, so hopefully I haven't done anything to the axle. But we'll see. So I'm just going to leave these to dry overnight. I'm not going to touch them. I'm just going to leave them here and then tomorrow when I come home from work, we'll put Chopper back together, and hopefully those will stay on. Right, that's been a whole day and overnight, so it's 8 o'clock at night now, and that's staying on fine. There's no hint of a wobble there, and these do come off. I don't want to try and do it too many times because I don't want to tempt fate, as it were. Yeah, okay, they do come off. I just don't want to force it. I don't want to do it one-handed either. So they do come off. Likewise. See, so they come off, and that seems to be okay. There is a slight twist to it, but honestly, I can live with that. So now what I'm going to do is put Chopper back together. There we go. What do you think of those? Still got that bit of twist in there, but honestly, from a distance, you're not going to notice. And yeah, I'm really pleased with those. They are. They look the part. I mean, this was a great find. So thank you very much, Kev. That was a great find. I think if I was to do this again, I would these bits I would actually put a self-tapping screw through both that and here, and then glue the magnet on and glue this bit so there's a bit more strength here, because at the moment the only thing that's holding that on is the strength of the glue, and yeah, it takes just one good knock and that's it, it's going to come off. So that's what I'll do differently there, or maybe have a plate. Put those two modules onto a plate that gets glued on here, so there's a bit more surface area for it to glue onto. Still might not work, but maybe put the screws in as well. I'd probably also redesign this bit so that it lays flat inside that shape and back a bit. I think it'll put less pressure on here. Might not, but anyway. So that's how it's looking so far. So the only thing left now really is the eyes, and I think that's it. The eyes, and then we can start coding the actual servo stuff up. So that's good, isn't it? So yeah, I'm taking Chopper to Make Essential. So if you, well, by the time this video comes out, if you were there, I hope you said hello. That's Make Essential in Birmingham at the NEC. So yeah, I hope you said hi to me if you saw me. That's a bit of glue. And then yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.